This video will walk through the steps to construct and submit a job to a TeraGrid resource. We'll start by copying a sample job template file from the simple grid directory. And opening up the file. Now you'll notice that we have some keywords such as TG home, input dataset, output dataset, TG home, standard out, and standard error. These are going to need to be replaced with user specific information. So in this instance, I will be copying my information for my username. You'll need to replace this information with the datasets for your own username. And this can be easily achieved by changing the specific username to your own on the TeraGrid resource that you're using. And it may take a little bit of experimentation in order to understand exactly what each one of them should be. But it should be pretty straightforward. Okay, so in this instance, we've changed all the variables in order to be the accurate file names. So just as a last measure, we'll cat that sample job file. And then we're going to use the tginfo command in order to find the Gram server on the Abe supercomputer at NCSA. And in this case, we're going to be using the Gram 5 PBS server located here. And in this video, we're going to be using the globus run command. And it takes a file as an input, which is going to be sample job. This was the file that we just created, and then we also pass it a resource, which is going to be the job manager PBS resource, and then we hit enter. And as you can see, we're going to enter a series of states. And currently the job is pending, and job state pending means that the job is sitting in the queue on the Abe resource. So we'll wait for it to get out of pending state, and then we'll see our output file. Now the job's moved into the active stage, which means that it's running on the Abe TeraGrid resource. Finally, the job state is done, which means that the job has completed its execution. So now we're going to use the tginfo command to get the grid FTP location on Abe, and we'll be using the uber FTP command, which is a different command than we used last time, and we'll be pulling from the default server. So we'll uber FTP into grid FTP Abe without the port. And then we'll cd into the simple grid directory, which is where our job executed, and we'll see that the sample output file is located in this file, which means that our execution completed. And this is again in the simple grid directory, and we'll get out of uber FTP, and we will use the globus URL copy command in order to copy our output file. So I'll be copying it from the GSI FTP server, the default server, and then I'll be getting the location where we put that simple grid output file, and we'll be copying sample.output, which is the output of our execution, and we'll be copying that to a file on the query server, which is going to be in our home directory here. And again, you'll have to replace the username with your own username, and then we'll call it sample.output. Once that's completed, we can see the first few lines of our sample.output file and find that everything is there. Thus, we've successfully constructed and submitted a job on a TeraGrid resource.